This news program is proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Now Biscuits.
Country to experience tropical cyclone. Government urged to expedite carbon credit policy. Residents left homeless after heavy floods experienced in Kimbe. A very good evening. You're watching National EMTV News. I'm Godwin Eki. Thank you for joining us. Strong gale winds and wet weather currently being experienced in the country is due to tropical cyclone that is normally experienced during the months of November and March. According to Weather Bureau, this wet season is expected to subside in a week's time.
According to duty forecaster, these strong winds will continue for the next 2 weeks, while the wet weather is expected to last until the end of March.
Forecasting tropical cyclone season that went into peak for the last 2 to 3 weeks. And we are still having those tropical depressions within the Coral Sea. So we expect this peak season to cease within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Warupi further stated that most provinces in the southern region, including Milne Bay right through to waters of Daru, will be most affected by this tropical cyclone season. More so, the Weather Office has clarified that these strong winds is caused by a low-pressure system from the Coral Sea waters towards the Pacific Ocean and is associated by 3 different cyclones passing through. Mr. Warupi further explains.
We have this tropical depression within the Coral Sea and Northern Territory. We will still experience strong winds and gale force winds over the country, but especially over the southern PNG-Indonesian border for the next 2 to 3 days and parts of Bomasa region. We expect those ray bands extending from the tropical cyclone Kevin to persist over Pacific Ocean, Solomon Islands, Bougainville, Solomon Sea, and New Guinea Islands.
Small ship craft operators are advised to take heed of strong wind warnings and to monitor the weather before going out to sea. With the strong winds and wet weather currently being experienced throughout the country is because of tropical cyclone season that is experienced throughout the country from November right through to March yearly. People living along the southern parts of the country are advised not to go out to sea at this time. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
Floods in Kimbe, West New Britain province has left many locals homeless and businesses submerged. This is following a stormy wet weather which brought heavy rain and flooding to parts of the province.
According to sources on the ground, many areas in the province have been badly affected by the continuous downpour. New Britain Highway has been cut off when the Ivule Bridge was washed away due to flooding. Over 1,000 families have been displaced and their cargoes and belongings were washed away into the sea during the torrential rain over the last 48 hours. Member for Talasia, Freddie Kumai, urged the locals to take extra precautions.
Our people have to take extra precautions because the weather is unpredictable. We cannot tell when the weather will subside and the storm will subside, and we have to warn everybody not to move around, but just to keep indoors and maintain those hopes, not going out to sea or going out to creeks or rivers.
The Provincial Disaster Office also urged the people not to venture out to sea and for coastal communities to take precautions as well. In the meantime, road access has been restored at Ivule River, allowing the flow of traffic. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
The wild and windy weather currently experienced has not only affected Port Moresby, but other parts of the country are also experiencing similar weather patterns following the floods experienced in some parts of West New Britain province. The member for Talasia Open, Freddie Kumai, is appealing to the national government for assistance. A written letter has been sent to the office of the Prime Minister for an urgent attention on this disaster situation.
The letter to the Office of the Prime Minister from the member for Talasia outlined that upon its inspection, over 1,000 families have been displaced, roads have been closed, main highway threatened by flood with massive landslide experienced. Talasia MP Freddie Kumai highlighted that West New Britain province is vulnerable to such natural disasters from the geographical location, and it is imperative that the national government support such a vulnerable province on a long-term basis. Kumai is calling on the Prime Minister to direct the relevant government agency to support the district mitigation plans to fix damages to roads and bridges and provide food and accessories for the displaced families. He is also calling on the government to release the road funding for the district to address the affected road links within the district. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
Bougainville Regional MP emerges triumphant over allegations of bribery during the National General Election 2022. The election petition was filed by former Regional MP Joe Lera against current sitting MP Peter Chamaleli Jr. Court's decision was handed down on Thursday.
Election petition filed by former regional MP Joe Lera against current sitting MP Peter Chamaleli was handed down last week. Presiding Judge Justice John Numapo stated after going through submissions from the three lawyers representing the petitioner Joe Lera against first respondent Peter Chamaleli and second respondent, the PNG Electoral Commission made this anonymous decision. Chamaleli's lawyer Tumun Kuma challenged the application before the National Court hearing in Buka. The petitioner and former MP Joe Lera provided two witnesses who failed to testify over the allegations of bribery during the trial in the lead-up to the court's final ruling. According to the judgment handed down on Thursday last week, Presiding Judge Justice John Numapo, while handing down the decision based on his findings, found the evidences provided by a first witness alleging bribery, however, was found unreliable with no substantive basis. Similarly, the second witness had no name on the common roll, nullifying her eligibility also as a voter, could not substantiate against the pleading filed in court. Therefore, Peter Chamaleli Jr. keeps his seat as Bougainville regional member and prepares to handle the region's affairs and duties as the national MP of the autonomous region of Bougainville. Lindy Suharupa, National EMTV News.
All residents in North Fly district of Western Province have been advised that fuel supplies are now in full stock. Respective service stations in Kiunga confirmed Zoom and petrol were received this weekend. It is understood that the delay of fuel crisis within the district since last month is due to lower water levels along the Fly River, which prevented the normal voyage of container vessels carrying various cargoes. The management team of Pajawi Fly Fuel Service Station, which is one of the service stations in Kiunga town, in a public notice released on Friday, stated their normal operations have resumed. Travelling passengers along the Fly River and Kiunga-Tabubil Highway who have been left stranded to travel to and from their respective villages are advised normal sales of Zoom and petrol have commenced as of yesterday. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. Apart from transporting general cargo and commodities between Lae and Madang, the Lutheran Ship Services has now established a fuel station at Maneba.
Manabe is a small wharf station in Morobes Finchafen district. fuel kind of depot in Maneba where they take bulk fuel in there and then they distribute from Maneba.
Evangelical Lutheran Church of PNG General Secretary Bennett Kaisom says one of Lutherans' shipping vessels, the MV Mamose, takes bulk fuel into Manabe and it is distributed from there to retailers along the northern coastline of Morobe.
Started 1 month, 2 months now, so a monthly voyage down to East Cape. It's showing some encouraging results.
He says with the fuel service that the company is providing, there is now some sign of economic growth in the area. According to Mr. Kaisom, the local people and even small craft owners and operators are now venturing into the retailing of fuel. He adds that this has also encouraged agricultural activities as transportation now becomes reliable.
Like last time, I think last trip, our Lutheran Development Swiss right now they're working with the university now, as I've mentioned earlier, on the one of the.
The Lutheran Shipping Service have commenced services to Madang and East Cape in Milne Bay Province. Evangelical Lutheran Church of PNG General Secretary Bernard Kaisom confirmed this, saying there are now 2 shipping vessels.
General Secretary Kaisom says MV Mamose and MV Yalibu are now in service. Mr. Kaisom says following the recommended services, MV Mamose is now ferrying passengers and cargo into Madang.
And back to Madang, Wasu, Finchafen, Ley, Siasi, Kinde, and now to Popondata. And
he says services into East Cape is now a new route.
East Cape. So East Cape is a new route that they've started 1 month, 2 months now. So a monthly voyage down to East Cape. It's showing some encouraging results.
Mr. Kaisom says people travel all the way from Alotau to East Cape to get on the ship. He adds services to Popondata is also a new route. The Lutheran Shipping Services is a business arm of the Lutheran Church in PNG. Amanda Ilaitia, National EMTV News.
The International Labour Organization, as part of the EU Straight PNG program, is now working on 3 roads to help farmers to have access to the markets to sell their products in the East Sepik region.
This initiative is basically for agribusiness activities like cacao, vanilla and fisheries to continue on and people to have easy access to markets. Not only that, but these roads will also service 46,500 beneficiaries, and these people will now also have easy access to schools, health facilities and financial services in the Sepik region. In total, International Labour Organization is working on a road that is over 38 kilometers in 3 districts of the East and West Sepik provinces. The rehabilitation work has started in February this year and still going on. The Acting Chief Technical Advisor for ILO-led Transport Infrastructure Program, Okela Lewis, explained how the work is progressing and what areas they are focusing on.
This program. The first was the Yawasoro Nyawanje Road, which is about 7.5 kilometers. The second road rehabilitation project that we inaugurated was the Nanahatau Road, which is about 14.5 kilometers. And the third was the Walkasa Maimai 11 Road Rehabilitation Project. That is 15.8 kilometers. As you may realize that the first road is in Wewak district, the second road is in Ambu Tindrekike district, and the third road is in Nuku district.
He assured the beneficiaries that the rehabilitation will be of high quality so that the roads would last for some good years. He also explained that the contractors for these roads were selected through stringent ILO procurement and tendering processes. The contractors have 12 months to complete their works, and this shall be followed by a 12-month defects liability period. On behalf of East Sepik Provincial Government, the Deputy Administrator for the province, James Baloiloi, thanked the ILO and continue on to says the road component would not be there if there is no cacao, vanilla and fisheries activities. He says the challenge now is to increase the volume of these crops and products and access the markets. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
Female students attending Tabubil International School and Tabubil Secondary School were recently given the opportunity to learn about the different trade training provided by Oktedi Mining Limited.
The students visited OTML's Dr. Jacob Wessey Training Center on February 15 as part of the International Day for Women and Girls in Science. Their visit was organized by the Oktedi Women's Network and OTML's Organizational Training and Development Department. The students consisted of children doing grade 8 to 12. These students were given a tour of the training center, the type of training available, what is involved in each trade, as well as what grade point average they needed to attain to apply for the OTML's apprentices training program. The courses they needed to take in secondary schools to allow them to stream into apprentices' careers were also discussed during this visit. They also had the privilege to meet and talk to some of the company's apprentices. OTML also has trained programs such as the graduate development. This has enlightened the students as they visit the actual operational area and see firsthand what women in science fields do. Ms. Parson said the OWN is looking forward to conducting more of such programs in the future to help young women choose a career in the field of science. Also, by doing this, OWN can help to grow the pipeline of females who may one day work with OTML or other organizations within PNG and abroad. Sharon Engnui, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. You're watching National EMTV News. Community leader in Jiwaka, Andrew Dupree, and chairman for Tarangu Farmers Cooperative Limited, says government needs to look into the carbon credit policy to be expedited. He said that the government is sleeping on carbon trade policies in the country. According to a community leader in Jiwaka, Andrew Dupree, and chairman for Tarangu Farmers Cooperative Limited, highlighted that the government should really look into promoting carbon credits by amending its policies, especially when the country is blessed with vast untapped tropical rainforest that the country can offer for big returns. He said that if this is looked into, the government can help support the country's poverty-stricken communities.
Will benefit enormously. Papua New Guinea will definitely benefit enormously from carbon trade because we have vast untapped tropical rainforests.
He said that if the government turns its focus to carbon credits, almost all communities that own a rainforest in the country will benefit. He said that there are imbalances in the benefits in the open or voluntary market. Hence, the government now has a duty to help the people at heart. The government must expedite policy formulation.
I think the government is sleeping on this. It has to expedite these policy frameworks and put money direct into the pockets of our indigenous people who are owners of this forest. And that money, we can offset our ugly foreign debts. And you look at public infrastructure investments, we can get our roads and bridges up. And I think we can see some changes in the livelihoods of our people. I know the future generation will benefit, but we've got to do it now so that our people today can at least benefit. I'm calling it again.
Mr. Dupree said that carbon earnings can go a long way to offset the ugly foreign debts and eradicate poverty. The newly opened University of Papua New Guinea in Yanguru Sausia University Centre has already accepted a total of 41 students in the district to be the pioneer graduates of the university centre. This was made known by Minister for International Trade and Investment and member for Yanguru Sausia Richard Maru on his Facebook page.
Of the 41 students that have been accepted, 38 of them will be taking up the Bachelor of Arts, while 8 of them will be taking up professional studies. All of these students are from the Yanguru Sausia district and were accepted on merit basis. Unfortunately, no science program will run this year since only 4 have met the requirements and the number is not enough to run the program. These 4 students have been given 2 options, either to go study at the main campus in Port Moresby or to wait till next year. The science program will start to run next year when more students meet the requirements and get accepted into the university centre. The number of students is expected to increase in the coming week as the School of Business and Public Policy is yet to submit its list. Registration will commence on Monday together with the orientation program. Minister Maru says in his Facebook post that in terms of academia, 5 people with masters have expressed their interest to be tutors at the campus, but the appointment will be done by the University of Papua New Guinea. Samantha Solomon, National EMTV News.
The Kagamuga Youths Empowerment Association in Mount Hagen continued their volunteering activity this weekend from where they left last weekend. More than 200 youths turned up for the activity where they participated effectively in the cleanathon of lane drainage from the 4-lane with replanting of new grass and palm trees from Kagamuga Airport to the junction of Okuk Highway. They are also planning on other key activities such as running a counseling session for the youths next week and also doing a major protest for child abuse in the district and the community. The association will invite keynote speakers such as successful local businessmen and women and successful educated individuals in the community to speak to the youths. National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with overseas sports. In NRL, the South Sydney Rabbitohs have defeated the Cronulla Sharks 27 points to 18 last night.
The Rabbitohs had to overcome a heavy injury toll early with both Tavita Totola and Jai Arrow unable to finish the match. Totola fouled his HIA after a head clash while Arrow appeared to hurt his hamstring. Halfback Lachlan Ilias was one of the best for the Rabbitohs, producing a try-saving tackle followed by a try. It was 12 all at the break thanks to a spectacular effort from Braden Trindle. The Rabbitohs pulled away in the second half. Campbell Graham scored a double while Latrell Mitchell was clinical with the boot.
In the men's cricket, Australia is looking forward to cause a draw in their 4th cricket test against India.
Australia did a fantastic job of picking themselves up and dusting themselves off after Delhi. I think what was important was to convince themselves that they hadn't played so badly in Delhi. It's a triumph of coaching, I think. Andrew McDonald's done a fantastic job here of keeping everyone level. No one's too high, no one's too low in this group. And Steve Smith did an outstanding job as captain here. You saw the virtues of having a batting captain in India. It's pretty hard to be a fast bowling captain on pitches like this. You can't really set a great example for your fellow players. In some respects, Smith's kind of fallen into this role like a penny into the slot. He was exactly the man that Australia needed under these circumstances.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. Two national sports. The Bisini Lawn Ball Club held a 2-day club triple which commenced yesterday and ended today. This is a lead-up playoff to the upcoming national championships in Goroka, which will take place in 2 weeks' time.
The 2 days bowling playoff, which commenced yesterday, ended today at the Bisini Bowling Club in Port Moresby. This saw the Bisini Lawn Bowling Club staging its club triple playoff ahead of the national championships, which will take place in 2 weeks' time. Bisini Lawn Bowl Club Games Director Pomex Pokato told Trukai Sports today that the playoff observed 7 teams comprising of 3 players participating, and the aim of it is to see the top performing team representing the Bisini Lawn Bowl Club in the upcoming National Bowl Championships in Goroka, Eastern Highlands Province. The method associated with assessing the performances of the teams was also detailed by Director Pokato. The team currently on par in the competition and undefeated and is highly likely to represent the Bisini Lawn Bowl Club in the national playoff is Team Lismond. The results and the announcement of the final squad will be made known by the Bisini Lawn Bowl Club in the coming weeks. Lisa Puni, Trukai Sports.
In Rugby League, the SPPNG Hunters, who were defeated on home soil a weekend ago by Central Queensland Capras, Hunters went on to playing the Solomon Island and Fiji. The SPPNG Hunters that were defeated on home soil after playing the Central Queensland Capras in front of a home crowd saw the SPPNG Hunters depart for Solomon Islands to continue to play their off-season trial match and later to Fiji, where they defeated Fiji in their third trial match and second match away from home. With only a week remaining to the season opener, SPPNG Hunters will now utilize the last and final week to work on their own on-field errors as they look forward to playing their game come next weekend. This year, the SPPNG Hunters will witness a few debutants that were scouted from the Intercity Rugby League competition, such as Junior Morea from the Central Dabaris franchise. That ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus. With you always.
Weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Southern region, Port Moresby, cloudy and windy with a shower or two. Daru, windy with squally showers. Strong to Kerema, possible evening rain. Alatau, rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Popondetta, chances of rain showers and thunderstorm. In the Momase region, Ley, rain showers and cloudy. Medang, windy and cloudy with squally rain showers and thunderstorm. Wewak, windy with few showers and thunderstorm. Banimo, windy with chances of squally rain showers and possible thunderstorm. In the New Guinea Islands region, Loringa, windy with possible evening shower or two. Kavieng, Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy with few evening showers and thunderstorm. Kimbe, windy with widespread rain showers and thunderstorm. Buka, partly cloudy with few evening showers. In the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, cloudy with afternoon and evening showers, rain showers and possible thunderstorm. Goroka and Kundiawa, widespread rain periods and possible thunderstorm. Mendi and Wabeg, evening rain periods. Waters of Southern PNG. The strong wind warning, strong northeast to westerly winds will continue over in the next 24 hours, causing rough seas. All small crafts and boats are advised to take necessary precautions before going out to sea. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru, to Kerema, to Yule Island, to Hood Point, to Samarai Island, seas 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Waters of Samarai Islands to Alatau, to Norman Bay, to Woodluck and eastern Milne Bay Islands, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters of western Milne Bay Islands to Cape Vogel, to Yuan Gulf, to Finschhafen, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitier Straits to south of Siasi, Long Islands to Medang, to south of Karkar Island, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters through Dampier Straits to north of Siasi, Long Islands to north of Karkar to Manam Islands to Wewak, to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 1.5 to 2 meters. Waters of New Ireland to New Britain and Bougainville, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters. Ocean forecast. Prismark Sea. Coral Sea, seas rough to very rough, northwest winds of 25 to 33 knots. Solomon Seas, slight to moderate northwest winds of 10 to 20 knots. Prismark Sea, seas rather rough, easing to moderate northwest winds of 20 to 30 knots. And Pacific Ocean, seas slight to moderate northwest winds of 10 to 20 knots.
Was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's how we wrap up the news for Sunday, the 5th of March, 2023. From all of us here, pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Smart Start Breakfast Biscuits and Gold Nuggets.